Russian forces are sustaining heavy losses, even while they push forward at multiple points along the 600-mile front line in southern and eastern Ukraine, according to recent battlefield footage and casualty reports from Kiev. One video, filmed by Ukraine's 10th Army Corps and uploaded on the unit's Facebook page Tuesday, showed the apparent destruction of a Russian T-72B3 main battle tank amid intense fighting in the country's eastern Donetsk region. The "Morning Hello," as the Corps' post described the strike, was conducted using a first-person view, FPV drone. The attack prompted a catastrophic ammunition detonation, said the OSINT technical open-source intelligence tracking account on X, formerly Twitter. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry also shared the footage on X, writing that the Russian tank was instantly burned to ashes after being hit by an FPV drone. The OSINT technical account said the footage was filmed somewhere in Donetsk, which since 2014 has been a center of Russia's war against its neighbor. Since the beginning of Moscow's full-scale invasion in February 2022, the region has been the site of some of the most devastating battles. The names of Donetsk settlements like Mariupol, Donetsk, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Vuhledar, Lyman, and Marinka, among many others, have become synonymous with Moscow's devastating war. Fierce combat continues in the area as the war approaches its second anniversary, particularly around the hotspots of Avdiivka and Bakhmut. The current exact location of the 10th Army Corps is unclear. However, the unit, headquartered in the central Ukrainian city of Poltava, is known to have taken part in Kyiv's failed summer counteroffensive in the country's southeast, fighting on battlefields in the Zaporizhzhia and Donetsk regions. Ahead of the operation, the 10th Army Corps consisted of some 20,000 to 30,000 troops, supported by 200 tanks and 700 infantry fighting vehicles and armored trucks, Forbes reported in May. President Volodymyr Zelensky traveled to the unit's command headquarters in August as its troops tried to push southward toward the occupied city of Melitopol. The president met with Serhiy Perets, the commander of the Corps, during the battlefield visit. Ukrainian forces have largely transitioned to an active defense stance following the failed summer operation. Lacking ammunition, grappling with sluggish or delayed Western support, and with no indication of Kremlin fatigue, the forces are preparing to grind through the winter and early spring. Russian units, meanwhile, are pushing for new territory despite the onset of winter. Moscow's forces are trying to isolate and capture the fortified Donetsk town of Avdiivka, while continuing gradual advances around the destroyed city of Bakhmut. Russian casualties are believed to be high. The British Defense Ministry said last month that continued high rates of attrition suggest the degradation of Russia's forces and its transition to a lower-quality, high-quantity mass army since the partial mobilization of reservists in September 2022. Russian troops have scored new but probably limited ground gains against Ukrainian fortifications guarding the battleground city of Avdiivka. And although the Kremlin may be shifting gears in assault directions, heavy pressure on the Kyiv-held salient will likely continue for weeks or months, recent official and independent news reports said. Ukrainian citizens from Russia-occupied Ukrainian territories and fighting voluntarily or at gunpoint on the Russian side have been at the forefront of recent assaults against Avdiivka's southern suburbs, some reports said. An industrial town near the Donbass city Donetsk, and the site of frontline Ukrainian positions since Russia's first invasion of Ukraine in 2014. Avdiivka saw major Russian offensives backed with armor, massed artillery, and even airstrikes in late 2023 and early 2024. Kremlin troops suffered at times crushing losses against strong Ukrainian fortifications, backed by kamikaze drone swarms and artillery. Video published on Jandar's 20 by 110th Mechanized Infantry Brigade, a Ukrainian formation in the Avdiivka sector, showed undated but according to the unit, recent Russian armored attacks taking heavy armored vehicle and soldier casualties in failed advances over open ground to the north of Avdiivka. In late January, according to multiple reports, Kremlin forces appeared to switch the main direction of attacks away from the open fields and rolling hills to the north and west of Avdiivka, to attacks from the south and east of the city. According to Thursday Russian Milblogger reports, squads of Russian foot soldiers were still moving forward and had entered Avdiivka's southern suburbs along the Sobernaya, Sportivnaya, and Chernyshevskaya streets. According to those sources, the Kremlin infantrymen were expanding control of ground in a forested park to the southwest of the city called Tsarska Okhota.
Валим.